Yep.
Hello and welcome to an episode of Drinking the Kool-Aid. This is a comedy podcast dedicated to the mysterious. My name is Cassidy.
My name's Amanda.
And we welcome you here to our beautiful abode.
Yes, our humble abode.
We're so happy you're here.
We are very happy you're here.
Maybe you're here for some tricks. Maybe you're here for some treats. Maybe you're here for some frights. Maybe you're here for some freats.
Oh, I thought you were going to say delights.
Oh, delights. Well, freats are delightful.
That they are. That they are. I do love a good freat.
Love a good freat.
Steak and frites.
Oh my gosh. That is like, so I've told you before, like there's a couple things that like changed my life cooking wise.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is having a head of lettuce in my fridge at all times.
Yes, that was a revelation of the century.
The best $1.25 I spend every single time I go shopping. And the second one is keeping a bag of frozen French fries in my freezer at all times because it stops me from getting fast food because it like hits the spot in the air fryer.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ones that I get, they're literally just the like Vaughn's brand or Great Value brand or whatever. They're called like fast food style. They just taste like McDonald's French fries.
Perfect.
You heat them up in the air fryer. Boom. Better for you. Faster, hot, fresh every time. And you don't have to spend any money because they're like $3 for a bag and the bag lasts for like a month. But that's one of my favorite things to do when I have like a nice steak in the fridge or the freezer. Cook that up. Throw in some of those French fries. It's so much easier than doing like a baked potato or mashed potatoes on the side and still super tasty.
Delicioso.
Oh, I love food. I'm sorry that you're dying right now.
Yeah, guys. Crazy turn of events. At the ripe age of 33 years old, I developed acid reflux. And I've been dying.
This has been a bad year for her, body-wise, because she also developed allergies this year.
I did. And remember when I had that back pain for like 2 months and
Yeah.
I couldn't walk?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Amanda said, oh my gosh, I'm 33. It's time to speed run being 45.
Like, literally, I'm concerned for...
I am too.
And last night, I get home from work and I'm like, what the hell? My butt cheek, like my ass cheek was like itchy. So I start itching it.
The way I was like, there's no way she's going to bring this up.
I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up because this was crazy. It was like, it's my actual cheek, okay? And I'm
Both
like...
cheeks.
Both cheeks, yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
like itching my cheek and I feel bumps and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I look in the mirror and I have the gnarliest looking like rat. I did send a picture of my ass to Cassidy.
Don't worry. It was rash aside. It was still looking bootylicious.
Thank you. But like, how gnarly was that rash?
It was really gnarly. It was way worse than I was expecting because Amanda has a tendency to sometimes over-exaggerate her health issues.
Yes.
We're like the opposite in that way.
Yeah.
Where I'm always like, no, I'm fine. Everyone's like, you should probably go to the hospital.
Yeah,
I'm
everyone's
"Guys,
like, your eyelid is literally sewn shut.
we're chilling. Don't even worry about
You're
it.
you're like what's his name? Will Smith in Hitch when he has the allergy and his whole
the
face
shellfish allergy?
pops
Yeah.
up. But you would be like, I'm totally fine. Everything's
Guys,
okay.
it's totally fine.
Yeah.
I was like waking up with my eyelids basically swollen shut for
Yeah.
like a month. And Amanda was like, you should probably do something. And I was like, I'm chilling. It's fine. But yeah, so I wasn't expecting when she sent the picture, I was like, I mean, I'm sure you could tell immediately. I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
And the
That's
bumps were like,
crazy.
at first I was like, do I just have like this crazy case of like butt acne? That's what I first thought. But the bumps were so big.
Yeah. Like that couldn't have just like appeared.
Yeah, they were like
hours.
welts. It
Yeah.
was, and then I took another shower. That was my second shower of the day.
Mhm.
Scrubbed my ass cheeks. Put some like Sam had this like lotion stuff on it.
Yeah.
And then woke up this morning and it definitely is like way better.
Mhm.
It's like there a little bit, but not like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
So hopefully
Well, good. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was like a freak thing.
maybe you really are like developing some sort of allergy to something.
Oh my God.
Like, what if it's caffeine?
Don't.
Then we could be allergic together.
Do not say
We'll
this
have
to
a
me.
sensitivity together.
What am I supposed to do? Like, really, what would I do?
You just have to be like me and you have to be grumpy for like the first 4 hours of the day.
I can't.
Sometimes you gotta.
Oh,
Lucky
my
for you,
God.
you wake up super early. You don't see anybody until like hour 7 anyway.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So I could just be really angry and pissed off alone in my dungeon.
Exactly. That's what I do.
Yeah, okay. I
That's
guess
why
that'd
I've
be fine.
started when I wake up in the morning, I don't even look at my texts because they just piss me off. Because I always have like 150 text messages between my group chat with them and then just like random, obviously you usually wake up to a couple like miscellaneous texts, usually from friends or family or whatever. And so I'm like, don't even look at that because it's just going to piss you off. And so I just read a book for an hour.
Yeah.
To be like, okay,
maybe this is how I can get into reading.
Maybe this is how. This is how.
Perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, and then that way, but I don't know if it's caffeine. This is just wishful thinking for me, so I won't be alone. Like misery loves company.
No, absolutely. I get it.
Yeah.
I just really love coffee.
Yeah. Maybe we could like really get into like uppers, like illegal drugs.
Okay. Let's do it.
Just kidding. We would never do that.
Wink, wink.
We're too poor to get into drugs. In any meaningful way.
I mean, genuinely, I would rather spend my money on anything else.
Yeah, literally. And whenever you take uppers, they make you not hungry. And I love to eat more than I love to do anything else in this planet. So,
like, I would rather spend my money on food.
Yeah.
On yummy, yummy food.
Oh my gosh, I used to have like a group of friends who like loved doing coke and did it like quite often. And all the time they'd be like, come on. Like before we would go out to like dinner or like to do something, they'd be like, let's do coke. And I'd be like, I'm really excited about this restaurant we're going to.
Yeah, like I want to enjoy my food.
So I'm just going to have this beer before we go. You guys do that.
Yeah, no.
And then we get to dinner and they would be so annoying. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, being on coke makes you annoying and that's embarrassing. So I don't want to do coke. That was like literally like the dare did nothing for me. Being not on coke around people on coke is literally the best way to be like, hey, I bet you never want to do coke again, huh?
That's so true.
Yeah.
Because I have also been in that scenario.
Thank God. Like literally nothing will scare you straight more than talking to someone on cocaine and being like, oh, wait.
Like, I'm good on this. Thank you so much.
I would be so embarrassed the next day that I would never recover, simply.
But you know what is really fun? Popping an edible and then going to a restaurant.
I wish I could. I wish I could. Popping an edible and going into public are two things that would probably end my life.
I do not like to typically go into public, but there has been some occasions where we have gone to a restaurant and we're like, you know what would make this taste even better if we just did like a half of an edible.
The problem with me is even if it's the same brand, the same gummy, whatever, like 5 milligrams will affect me so differently.
Yeah.
Depending on like where my mental state is at. And the bigger problem is I don't know where my mental state's at until it's too late. I'll be like, I'm in a really good mood and I'm not stressed out at all today.
Yeah.
Take 5 milligrams. An hour later, I'm like, oh my God, we're all going to die one day. Literally everyone's going to die. And even if there is an afterlife, one day the sun is going to consume the earth. And so like, what's even the point of being a ghost? If like the sun consumes it, then what happens to all the ghosts that are like, that's what happens.
It's so crazy because for me, edibles do the exact opposite. I am laughing. I don't have a care in the world. I'm like, oh my gosh, everything is so amazing.
Yeah. Once again, I wish. I'm very, very happy for people, a little jealous, but I'm very happy for people that it does that too. And I've had so many people tell me like, oh, because I don't like to take pills really, like medication. And I've been on anti-anxiety medication before and I don't like the way it makes me feel. Or like I was on Xanax for a while and like I didn't like when I would stop taking it, I would get like that brain buzzy feeling. Yeah. And like to me, I'm like, okay, that means it's like, I mean, and this is just me. I'm not giving medical advice at all. Just for me personally, didn't like it. And so I've had so many people be like, just smoke, just take a little tiny edible, just do this, just do that. And I'm like, girl, I wish so bad. Like I wish so bad. You have no idea. Like that would be 3 wishes from a genie.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could just wish away my anxiety, but if that wasn't allowed for some reason, I would wish that like weed had a positive. I would wish I liked weed either way because I know people who are like, yeah, I quit drinking. And it's because now I just smoke weed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would love to smoke like taking edibles and smoking weed is so much better for you than alcohol.
Yeah.
And I would love for that to be the fun activity I wanted to do on the weekends.
I do typically like to enjoy an edible over alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can't go out in public. Like I can't.
Yeah.
I can't be seen
not,
by
like,
the world.
Socializing. You're not like out at the bar.
No.
Yeah.
Like no one can see that side of me, even though I'm very pleasant.
Yeah, you're just insane.
Yeah,
and make very little sense.
No, yeah,
you wouldn't believe the voice memos I get, and then usually either me or Kate go, Amanda, did you happen to take an edible tonight? And then just a sneaky little smiley face. Like, yeah.
I think recently I was sending you guys something that I thought
Was super coherent.
was super coherent, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna kill in the group chat.
This is gonna kill.
And then I just get a text. Did you happen to partake in an edible? And I was like, well, yeah, but
But I'm fine. What are you
but
talking about?
everything I'm saying makes total sense, right?
Guys, I'm basically sober. See, I wish.
Well,
Maybe one day, as I'm getting older, obviously our bodies are changing. So maybe one day,
yeah, clearly.
maybe one day my body will accept weed.
Maybe one day my body
Dude,
will stop wanting to kill me.
I know that I'm getting old because my little brother, I have a little brother who's a teenager, and he sends me like horror movie stuff because he knows that I love horror movies, and he sent me a trailer for a new movie. The way I typed out, "This looks goated," and then had to backspace and say, "This looks so fun."
Goated? Like the goat?
Like, yeah.
Like the greatest of all
That's
time.
how the kids talk. I was trying to be hip. I was doing that meme basically, like the "hello, fellow teenager." Like I was doing that. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm 32 years old. I'm a grown adult.
Yes.
I could technically be his mother, like age-wise.
Technically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cutting it close, but yeah.
Not really.
How old is he?
I'm 16 years older than him.
Oh.
There's plenty of people who started at 16.
I thought it was 14. So
No,
I was like, okay,
16.
like we're cutting it a little close, but yeah,
16.
okay.
When he was a baby, I used to scam my dad into letting me miss school because I would say, hey, I'll take my little brother to the zoo. And people would always look at me like, oh, poor girl. Like, because they thought I was a teen mom.
You probably loved it though.
No, I mean, it didn't bother me either way. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. The worst was I wasn't very good at it, obviously.
Oh.
I remember one time, because I was like 16, or 17, I guess at this point. He was like 2, and he stood up in his stroller because I forgot to fasten him in, and he just immediately fell and ate shit so hard and like hit his head directly on like the dirt path we were walking because we were at the Phoenix Zoo, and everyone was like, and I remember somebody like under their breath was like, babies having babies. I was like, get in the fucking thing. We're going.
She was calling CPS.
She was absolutely. There. I was like, we're about to get arrested. We need to get out of here. Guess what? It builds character.
Yeah. Look at him now.
He's doing pretty good.
Football player.
No, he doesn't play football.
Oh, he
anymore.
doesn't. He stopped doing that.
No, he's really into airsoft, or not airsoft. Paintball now. That's his new thing.
Oh,
He's
you know,
into.
that's such a teenage boy thing.
That is such a teenage boy thing. Yeah.
Oh, to be young.
I know. Like I said, I literally typed out, "This looks so goated," and I was like, what are you trying to be? Who are you trying to be right now, Cassidy?
I would never even think to say something like that. So you're so hip.
I'm so hip. And luckily I'm self-aware enough to know that I should not use that lingo. Because if I would have said that he would have screenshotted it and sent it to all of his little friends.
Well,
and been like, look at my old ass sister trying to be cool.
And that's what you would have deserved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
So that's what happens, guys.
I'm so sad that you don't feel good because I'm already in my head like making plans to have Taco Bell tonight.
Yeah, well.
Do you feel a little better after the apple cider vinegar?
I do.
You seem like you do.
No, I'm in a better mood from it, I would say. Like I don't have like that like lingering situation going on in my chest and my stomach.
Yeah, because I'm not kidding you. When I'm religious about my apple cider vinegar shots, I don't get heartburn.
I'll be a good girl.
You just do it either. Some people do it like every night before they go to bed, and some people do it every morning, like when they first wake up. I'm a before bed type gal because I get nighttime heartburn. Like
yeah,
really
that's
bad.
what was happening to me.
Yeah, it helps. This is not an ad. I just genuinely. My dad does shots of balsamic vinegar because really it's just it's like a vinegar to calm the acid in your stomach.
Yeah,
I know some doctors already typing out a paragraph about why this is bad for you or something.
I thought apple cider vinegar was good for you.
So say the people.
And I listen to the people.
I listen. I'm a woman of the people.
Yeah.
What's that?
You say it to me and I'm going to say, okay, yeah, that sounds good. I'll do it.
My favorite meme, I've had this, like 100 people have sent this to me. I don't fuck with chat GTP. If I'm going to be misinformed, it's going to be from Wikipedia and it's going to be from the people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I like to be. as well. Sometimes, you know what's so funny? I forget all the time that people just like write things on Wikipedia.
Yeah, they fact check it pretty quick though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty quick with it. I'm actually
But it is
that's what we're
crazy.
donating for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that anyone could just like edit it.
I technically have an account. I could edit things. But you have to like you have to like get enough things approved where they'll let you like freely edit.
Oh, okay.
So like you do have to like gain goodwill. And then if you get caught putting misinformation and stuff on there, they'll axe you.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be careful about
Yeah,
that.
it's like being like a Reddit mod.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I think you could slide your way in there.
Probably. I read a lot of books.
Be the Wikipedia lady.
Be the Wikipedia lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I mean, I believe everything you say typically anyway. So
I'm very confident.
I might as well just read it on Wikipedia.
I'm very confident even when I'm misinformed, when I'm dreadfully misinformed. Oh, speaking of me being misinformed, I made, guys, okay, if you've been following my saga of me trying to recreate my favorite fast food foods at home,
Yes.
I made dupes of the Jack in the Box tacos,
Mm-hmm.
and they were so freaking good.
They looked delicious.
My fiance ate 8 of them. 8 of them. And then he said, "Can this be like a new weekly rotation meal? Like this is like one of the best things I've ever had."
Wow.
Yeah.
And you made them with actual meat, guys.
Well, for the record, Jack, I don't know why I did this. For the record, I put up a 2 and a 1. Jack in the Box does use real meat.
Yes.
That was what I was misinformed
Yes,
about.
that was the
moons
saga.
ago.
If you've been here this whole time,
If you know, you know.
you
If
know.
not, you gotta listen to the old episodes. Sorry
Yeah.
about that sound quality. That's on us. It's so funny seeing people who are like binging the show and they'll like make comments about our old episodes and be like, "Ooh, didn't like this," or like, "Didn't like
Yeah.
that." And I'm like, "Okay, you're listening to episode 7. This is back when we literally thought the only people that would listen to this were each other
Yeah,
and like
our parents,
maybe our moms."
Yeah,
And like that's it. Like, okay, like I'm sorry.
it was the podcast 5 years ago. We were in very different.
I don't even know her.
headspaces.
I literally don't even know her.
No, it really is so funny because like we've obviously been getting a lot of new listeners lately,
Mhm.
and just so many comments, and I don't even know how to respond to the comments because I don't remember what we said.
Yeah, that's also a problem. I've said this before, is I keep getting messages and like, I love you and thank you for wanting to enthusiastically engage with the podcast. You just got to send me a little bit of context.
Yeah,
Because somebody will send me just like a quote, like out of context, and be like, "Funniest thing you've ever said," and it's like, "No, now it's your mom's turn to ride the pony," or something like that, and I'll be like, "I have no idea what that means." And like, I love that you are laughing so hard at something that I said, that like you found me on Instagram to
Yeah.
message me or whatever. Or they'll like send me a meme and be like, "Saw this, made me think of episode 52." And I'm like, just a smidgen of context. And then I can enjoy this moment with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
you guys don't understand.
Because I do try to, I know sometimes I'm late. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes it takes me a week or two to answer DMs and stuff, but I do try to get to everybody.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But we will forget what we talked about literally right after we record it.
2 days ago, we were talking about last week's episode, and Amanda goes, "I have no idea what I even covered." And I said, "Amanda, it's the episode that came out today." And she was like, "Couldn't tell you." Couldn't even
Like,
tell
I
you.
really forgot. It took me I had to go and look it up because I
Yeah.
was like, what the fuck did I talk about?
And then even I was like, it's that lady and the thing like was in the sky and then like fell out of the sky. And she's like, "What?" And then finally she was like, "Oh, Ann Hodges."
Yeah. Yeah, my brain is wild. I don't know what to
Yeah.
tell you guys. But anyway, thank you for
Yeah, for
being
the record,
here.
we're not complaining. We love that you guys are like enjoying the backlog and everything, but just, some things to keep in mind.
Yeah, and you probably won't hear this now for 4 more years. But
Yeah, and then
it's
they'll be
okay.
like, and then they'll be like, "Oh, that was me. I was the one sending crazy messages with no context." And guess what? We don't care. We still love it.
we love you.
We love you. We even like we love all the messages, even when they're strange. Because you know what? We're strange. We get it.
are.
We get it.
We're
Ugh.
strange and unusual.
Taco Bell. What I was
Oh,
gonna say,
yes.
have you seen that guy? You would absolutely hate this, but I don't know if you've seen rumblings of it because it was like kind of going viral for a minute, of the guy who was eating the entire Taco Bell menu in his as few bites as he could manage.
No.
Yeah. So it was actually fascinating to watch. I did have to watch it like with no noise because I can't do the mouth noise things.
Yes.
He actually surprisingly polite chewer considering what his endeavor was.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Because I like to watch videos of like people eating stuff and whatever,
especially like food
trying
challenges.
Things. Yeah. But you gotta keep that mouth noise.
Yeah,
to
we
a
gotta keep the
minimum.
mouth noises down.
You gotta learn how to the tricks where you cut there when you eat. Those ones I love.
But yeah, he was like eating. He didn't cut anything because the whole point was he was trying to prove that he could do it. But for like, it took him 14 days. He spent, I think it was $200.90, and he ate the entire menu.
Okay.
Everything. But so every day he would eat like a certain amount of things. And by the end, he was getting really good at it. Like, and he got this thing, he got the cheese quesadilla uncut. And then he put the nachos Bel Grande into them and basically ate it like a burrito, and ate it in 3 bites.
Holy shit.
It was incredible.
I mean, I could probably eat that in 3 bites. I'm pretty fast.
You absolutely. No, you are fast, but you could not eat it in 3 bites. You should.
Do you want to bet?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I will fund this expedition.
Okay.
Actually, speaking of, there's another challenge, and me and my fiance were talking about this last night. If you try to eat a Big Mac in under a minute, and everyone's like,
under a minute?
I could totally eat a Big Mac in under a minute. And a lot of people are failing.
It's because there's a lot of bread in that, so that would be hard.
It's a lot of chewing. It's a lot of swallowing. Yeah,
that would be hard. I think in under a minute.
I think I could eat. What could I eat in under a minute? That's like semi-impressive. I absolutely.
It can't be something bready because like bread, that's what takes a lot of the work. Like when they do the hot dog competition.
Like I could for sure eat like a spicy potato soft taco in under a minute.
Yeah.
I could eat that in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's small.
I feel like I think I could eat a Crunchwrap in under a minute.
Yeah.
I think I could do it.
I could too, probably.
I would fold it.
Oh.
That's my strategy.
But then
don't steal my strategy. That's my strategy.
But you have a little mouth.
I do have a really little mouth, but I think I could put in the work and put in the time.
Okay, we might have to like
try
to the test.
Yeah, because like fortunately, we don't eat McDonald's anymore, so we couldn't do the Big Mac. But drop it in the comments. What do you think are similar things that we could do this with, like a Crunchwrap, or like what would be equivalent? Maybe the extreme cheeseburger from Jack in the Box. Okay. Have you ever had one of those?
No.
Girl, that is the best burger at Jack in the Box, like hands down.
Okay.
I think it's called the extreme cheeseburger. Wait, let me pull up my Jack in the Box app really quick. Just to fact check myself. I can't be spreading misinformation about Jack in the Box like constantly.
No, please.
Like that's out of control. That's so out of control.
No misinformation here. Okay.
That's
what your name should be.
Misinformation. I feel like that has to already be a drag queen.
Yeah.
Okay. The ultimate cheeseburger.
Okay.
This bitch is so good.
You can't eat that in under a minute.
You don't think I could eat it in under a minute?
Absolutely not.
I think I could.
No, you can't.
I think I could. So it comes with 2 jumbo patties, mustard, ketchup, mayo, American cheese, Swiss cheese, a buttery sauce, and a split top bun.
Yeah.
I think I could do it.
Well,
I would say this is equivalent to like a double quarter pounder with cheese.
Yeah.
I think I could do it.
No.
You don't think you could?
Cassidy, you eat so slow.
Yeah, because I like to enjoy my food. I don't understand all this speed. I'm not trying to speed run my eating experience. I want to enjoy it. But when I'm hungry and I'm over the sink, you should see the things that I can get done. It's crazy.
I just think I could eat faster than you.
And also when I eat fast, I overeat to the point where I make myself like physically sick. Like because my hunger cues, they like haven't caught up yet.
Right.
That's like a real thing.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Like so you're supposed to eat slower so you don't make yourself sick, because I will make myself sick.
Maybe that's why I often just eat too much and I'm so full that I want to die.
Yeah. Because I used to binge eat like really bad. Because I used to like restrict a lot, and then like when I would binge it would be like really bad and make myself really sick. And so the eating slow thing is like the solution to that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's okay. The food's not going to go away. It's still right there if you're still hungry, you know?
It's like when you give your dog one of those slow feeding bowls.
It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for I just did it mentally because I'm an adult human.
But okay, challenge accepted. We're doing some challenges.
Take a look. Maybe on Patreon you'll see me trying to eat an ultimate cheeseburger in under a minute.
Yeah.
See, now I already just got sad about that.
Why are you sad?
Because I'm like, ugh, they're so good. I like to eat them slow and savor
No,
them.
what we'll do is we'll get 2. So you do the challenge.
And then I get one as a treat later.
Yeah,
okay, that's good. As long as we get curly fries too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Patreon,
Yes.
how about we welcome some of our new patrons?
Let's do it.
So welcome to Kaylee S.
Hi, Kaylee.
Welcome to Tara C.
Hi, Tara.
And welcome to Daniel M.
Hello, Daniel.
And thank you to Morgan N, who edited your pledge up so you could see that sweet, sweet video content. Speaking of video content.
Yes.
My favorite video content. What's your favorite video that we have? Mine's probably when we smell the space candle.
That is really fun.
Sometimes I rewatch that just because it makes me laugh every single time.
No, it's really, really fun.
Like, who are those girls? I don't know, but they're very funny and fun.
I personally love our Hunting the Kool-Aid, our first one at the Sunnyside Cemetery.
Oh my, because we really caught a ghost, you guys.
That one I love.
We really caught a ghost. I do love our Jerome video too.
Yeah, I want to go ghost hunting again.
I know we need to. The problem is it's just like our camera lady got a real job. That's literally what happened. Like, our camera lady, our good friend Kate, got like a real 9-to-5 job.
I know, we're screwed.
And so now we're screwed. We can't pump her for free labor.
No. But we got to get some sort of like a...
And we can't bring Andrew. He's too much of a scaredy cat.
Yeah. And we can't bring Sam because he's too much of a skeptic.
Yeah.
He would be annoying.
Mm-hmm. And he'd be trying to jump in.
100%. 100%. He would talk through every frame just so he can get in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. See the issues that we're dealing with as a 2-woman team over here?
What are we going to do?
We're just 2 gals.
Because I really want to go.
I know, me too. I know.
We're going to have to figure out some sort of like contraption, like tripod selfie stick situation.
Yeah, we just need to get like smarter probably, which that's hard.
That probably won't happen.
I don't know how to. I went to Jupiter. I accidentally went to Jupiter and got more stupider. Somebody put me on the wrong train. And I was like, there's a lot of dudes on here. What are we up to? And then the next thing I know, I'm on Jupiter. I'm so much stupider.
And then you came down here and you passed it on to me.
Yeah. Where did girls go again?
Mars.
But
what did they get again?
What did they get? I don't know. See how stupid I am? She's so stupid. She was on the train to Jupiter with me and she totally forgot about it. She just wiped it from her memory.
I took an edible and I forgot.
Took an edible. The whole thing's a blank spot now. Are you happy?
Wait, no, really though, where did girls get?
Boys go to Jupiter to get more stupider. Girls go to...
It's Mars, right?
I don't know. Now all I can hear is Mars. Okay, I'm Googling this.
Because girls have to get something.
Oh, girls go to college. To get more knowledge.
Oh, yeah. Not us, though.
No, I dropped out of college, actually. I dropped out of college and immediately hooked a plane to Jupiter, clearly, to get more stupider with the boys.
Damn. How did we forget girls went to college?
Or you could say girls go to Mars to get more stars, but I never heard that one.
That's the one I heard.
Okay.
But what does that even fucking mean?
I don't know.
See, it makes no sense.
I'm too stupid to answer that question. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, thank you everyone who joined our Patreon. We hope you guys are having a good time, and we have our Shot of Kool-Aid out now for June. We have a bonus episode coming out this week. We have our Deadly American Marriage, which is like our most people are. I told you people were gonna have big feelings about that one.
You guys, that one is.
There's a lot of big feelings happening,
causing some turmoil over there.
Yeah, I love it personally. I love a little turmoil. I love a little pot shaking.
I think it's great.
And we also did want to remind you, because we get messages about this all the time. We get comments on our Facebook and on our Instagram and everything. We don't own Patreon.
Mm-mm.
If they fuck up your credit card, we did not do that. We have no control over any of that. And then even when you ask us for help and we ask Patreon for help, their response to us is that customer needs to message us directly. Like they literally can't even help us to help you. So I'm sorry. I know it sucks. Unfortunately, that's where we're at.
And we appreciate you being there and supporting us.
We're so happy you're there. And I'm sorry that they have like a few quirks that are annoying, but they are really responsive. If you do reach out to them for help, they will explain things or help fix problems typically.
Hopefully.
But unfortunately, it's not our... It's like when people complain about something with Spotify and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even directly even upload to Spotify. Like, you know,
Yeah.
so.
Or even on YouTube now, actually, we have no control over the ads. Like
None.
at all.
Yeah.
And someone just commented on our episode last week and was like, these ads are so long. And I was like, I'm sorry. I literally, we don't even have control over that at all.
We don't even have the choice to like disable ads.
No.
We don't make money off of YouTube. So it's literally has nothing to do with us. That is 100%
YouTube just throws that in there.
Yeah. So we're sorry. And we know it's frustrating because we've been we are you. We enjoy content online and we understand that it's annoying. But unfortunately, we can't help you. So I'm sorry if you message us and we say we can't help you. It's not because we don't want to. It's because we literally can't.
But we love you.
But we love you. We promise. I promise. Okay, so that was my little PSA moment.
Thank you. I think that was great.
Thank you. Well, on that note, we did want to say thank you to Liz or Elizabeth who made these for us. They're so freaking cute. They're little Fresno night crawlers, and they will be adorning our little set from now on.
Yes, she crocheted them.
She made them herself.
So cute.
And I'm obsessed with them.
Yes.
They're so cute.
I love them. This is Booba.
They're both. I can't be Kiki. This is also a
You
Booba.
can name yours whatever you want. Mine's Booba.
I just feel like you took the good name already.
Well, sorry.
Well, whatever. Mine's name is Kenneth.
Perfect.
But yes. Okay. On that note, why don't we get started?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So I have a story today who actually, speaking of cool kids, was a request from our cool kid, Grace.
Oh, hi, Grace.
So thank you for requesting this, Grace. And I'm going to be talking about the life of Frano Selak.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I looked it up and that seemed to be. There's also some people who had it as like Frank or Franco Selak, but I'm just going to call him Selak because that was the name that was most consistent.
Sounds great.
All right, so my sources today were the Times of India, BBC Radio, Ripley's Believe It or Not, and of course, Wikipedia.
What Cassidy now is going to contribute her writings
That's
to.
right. Well, I just fact check things. They like send me little things. They're like, does this information seem correct? And I can go yes or no.
Perfect.
Yeah, or I don't know, obviously. Frano or Franco Selak was born in Croatia on the 14th of June in 1929. He lived a pretty normal life. He was a music teacher. He wasn't married or anything at this point. He didn't have any kids. And he was riding the bus to school to school. Well, yeah, to school, but he was a teacher, not a student. When he was 28 years old, and he was riding the bus when they hit a patch of ice and skidded off the road, giving him quite the fright. And his first ever near-death experience.
Oh, boy.
Uh-huh.
I do love a good near-death experience story.
So most people only have 1 or 2 near-death experiences in their lifetime. So when only 5 years later in 1962 he had another, it was pretty shocking.
First of all, most people have a near-death experience in their life.
I would say. Whether it be sickness or a bad car accident or, you step off the curb and a bus almost hits you. Like that's a near-death experience.
Okay, that's true. I guess something like that maybe isn't as like memorable.
Well, you're thinking like, oh, like you die, you leave your body and you come back.
Yes.
No. I'm just talking about like you almost died. You almost drowned in a pool when you're 5. You almost you
like
fell on your bike, and if you would have fallen 2 centimeters to the right, you would have cracked your head open. Like that. That's all. That's near death.
Like when you got electrocuted like 3 times.
Like 4 or 5. But that's on me. That's pure negligence.
I'm just trying to make sure that that's what we're talking about here.
I'm thinking more like when I almost drowned in the ocean.
Okay.
Or like when I got really sick and spiked a fever and I had MRSA and had to be rushed to the hospital. That's to me, that is like a near death. Like I almost died. If we would have waited a couple more hours, I would have died. If somebody hadn't have pulled me out of the water, I would have drowned to death. Like these are near death experiences in my brain. So in 1962, Selak was on a train and there were very cold and icy conditions. So the train is actually going through kind of like a canyon area, and the rain was coming down really hard, and he began to daydream, drift away as you do on a train. It's the best thing about taking public transportation and not driving. I'm very pro public transportation and very anti-driving. You guys know this. is you get to just like daydream and fall asleep and like look at your phone or read a book, whatever. I mean, he wasn't looking at a phone. Obviously, it's like 1962, but you get it. When he hears a horrible sound. And before he knows what is happening, the train had flown off of the tracks and plunged into a freezing cold canyon river.
This is like Final Destination.
Yeah. So water rushed into the train compartments, trapping a lot of people into freezing cold canyon river water. And as water rushed into the train, it also pushed people out into the surrounding river.
Oh, shit.
But the river had harsh conditions and currents and below freezing water temperatures. So people were having a hard time getting to shore, even though they got pushed out of the train. Frano Selak himself was pushed out an open door and into the freezing water, but he couldn't explain what happened next. He was pulled out of the river by an unknown person who walked away briskly after pulling him out, so he ended up on the banks of the river completely safe and unharmed. Well, not unharmed. He did break his arm and he was diagnosed with hypothermia later on, but that's not that bad considering that over 17 people died in this crash.
Man.
Yeah, most of them from drowning. So I know what you're thinking. Statistically, this must be the safest man in the world at this point.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking.
His bus went into a river. His train went into a river. He's flying into rivers at rates that we just can't even fathom.
That's true. But what I was really thinking was, who the fuck was the person who pulled him out of the water?
That is a great question.
That's what I was really
nobody
thinking.
knows.
Okay.
But unfortunately, you would be wrong if you thought he was safe. Or you thought he had some sort of guardian angel.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Maybe he does.
I was like, there's someone that's looking out for him here.
Something's interfering here.
Yeah.
Well, just a year later, in 1963, he decided to take his first ever plane ride.
No.
So he boards the plane with 20 or 19 other passengers. The aircraft is not all the way full. He sits by a door, like by one of the emergency exit doors. So he's sitting down, looking out, and the aircraft's door malfunctions, sucking him out, and it falls off and sucks him out of the plane where he fell thousands of feet.
What in the fuck? This is literally reminding me of the story I told of the guy that got electrocuted like over and over and over and over again.
Or like the saxophone guy.
Yeah, or the saxophone guy. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All this is alleged also, by the way.
No.
No, it's real. Our minds are wide open.
Come on.
So he is falling and he watches as the plane spirals and crashes, killing everyone on board. But as for Selak himself, he lands in a haystack and is mostly unharmed, walking away with just minor scrapes and bruises.
Yeah, so he is the luckiest guy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems to bring death upon others.
So one of the articles that I wrote was literally titled the luckiest unlucky man in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so I forever always just had this idea. I think a lot of people do, like that you're just like built different.
You definitely think you're
like,
built different.
oh, the plane would go down. Well, I would survive because I'm built different.
I 100% did think that when I was on a plane last week.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? If this plane does crash, I'm going to be that one person.
Yeah. Or like you like watch these like horrible car accidents and like one person lives and you're like, yeah, of course that would be me. But it's because we all just have like main character syndrome because we are the main characters of our own lives.
Oh, I
obviously.
have that so bad.
And the main character can't die or else the movie's over.
Correct.
Yeah. But this man seems to actually simply be built different. So the trend continues. Allegedly in 1966, just 3 years after the plane crash, there was another bus crash where he ended up skidding into a river again on icy paths where he was able to swim to shore, but 4 people died in the crash from drowning.
How do you get into 2 bus crashes in your lifetime, a train crash, and a plane crash?
He is like public transportation's #1 enemy is what it feels
literally.
like. Yeah. So he left this event with just a few bumps and bruises.
Wow.
After the second bus crash, things seemed to calm down for the music teacher. He was getting back into a groove, somehow unfazed. He did purchase a vehicle, though, because as you can see, he did not have the best luck with public transportation.
He's like, I gotta stop getting on these things and killing other people.
Yeah, this is too much.
Now I'll just have me in the vehicle.
Also, he's been married like 2 times and divorced 2 times at this point as well.
Okay.
It was kind of hard to find. Oh, do you want to see a picture of him too?
Yeah.
So this is him. Well, that's when he's an old man. And then this is the drawing that you'll always see of him everywhere.
That's just rude. That just feels rude.
These will be on the Instagram and also the YouTube. But yeah, so he actually, in an interview, said, there came a stage when I was lucky to have any friends at all. Many stopped seeing me, saying that I was just bad karma.
That's how I'm feeling.
Which I feel like is fair because, like, yeah, bro, like, I get these bad things are happening to you, but you're the only one who lives.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, how is that fair?
Like, you're going on these, you're going in public transportation, and all of these other people are dying around you. Like, it's not the other guy, the saxophone guy, like,
yeah,
he wasn't killing other people.
Yeah, it's just him that the bad things are happening to. Yeah. But yeah, this is definitely giving like very Final Destination.
It really is, yeah. Except for some reason, death is not coming for him. Or it is, and he just somehow
he's just built different.
He's slip sliding past death.
I don't know how to explain it other than he is just simply built different.
Maybe he's a bionic man.
Maybe. So he's living a relatively chill life now at this point. He gets married again and everything's going well. When he's driving down the street in 1970, so this is 4 years after the plane crash.
Okay.
So he's driving his little car he bought. Beep, beep. He's a man about town.
I swear to God, if there's like a 50 car pileup and he's the only one that survives.
No. So while he's driving, he begins to see what looks like steam coming from under the hood. And he thinks his car is getting overheated, which is strange because he's in a part of Croatia that's like pretty chilly, obviously. That's why all these buses and trains are fucking skidding off the road into freezing cold rivers. So he's like, oh, that's really strange, like that my car would be overheating. And then it's not steam, it's smoke that's coming out from under the hood. And it's kind of coming from all over under his car. So before he knows it, there are actual flames coming from underneath the hood and spreading around his car.
Oh, that's death coming for him.
Yeah. So he pulls over. Oh, there's no seatbelts. I was about to be like, unbuttons his seatbelt. This is the 1970s. There's no seatbelts.
Oh my gosh.
This is pre-Ralph Nader's crusade. Opens the door, tumbles out, and makes a run for it because he can hear sizzling from underneath his car. And just as he manages to get away, in an action star-esque sequence, the car blows up as the fire reaches the gas tank below his car.
Okay, now I'm starting to wonder, did he make this all up to seem like a superhero?
That is a great question, and we will get there.
Because, like, no offense to him, just looking at the photo, he just doesn't seem like...
Wow. Are you profiling this young Croatian man or this old Croatian man?
I'm sorry. But you did show me an older photo of him.
Yeah, he's an old man.
Is he an old man when this is happening to him?
He was born, this is in he's in his 50s. Oh no, this is in 1970. He's like in his late 40s. He was born in 1929.
Okay, so
he's in his 40s.
The photo you showed me was older than what
he's
he
41.
Was.
Yeah, that's just those are like the only photos I could find of him.
All right, I'm sorry.
Because things get crazier.
I'm sorry, Frano. I apologize.
Frano, Franco, we're not sure. Because there's a bunch of different ways people are spelling your name. The disrespect. So that happens, obviously very traumatic. But he walks away with just, once again, like minor bumps and scrapes, nothing that big.
He's fucking Superman.
But he does need a new car. So that's what he does. He gets a new car.
I just wouldn't do anything ever again.
You would just quit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go in a car. I'm not going to go in anything.
I was going to say, speaking of Final Destination, like that's how they do it. That's how they stay alive. They like go live in a padded room or they go live in like some weird cabin by themselves.
Yeah, with no knives or electricity or anything, really.
Yeah.
I would just live in a padded room.
You would just eat Ritz crackers morning, day, and night.
Yeah, and then probably death would make me choke on the Ritz cracker and then no one would be there because I would be alone.
Because you'd be alone.
And I wouldn't have any chairs because I'm only in a padded room. So I couldn't even like give myself the Heimlich maneuver like George Washington and like throw myself over a chair.
Oh, you mean like George W. Bush?
George W. Bush. Why did I say George Washington? Guys, I went to Jupiter. Shut up.
Shut up. We just got back from Jupiter, round 2. We're stupider than ever. So, he bought a new car. His wife left him.
Of course. Even though he's fucking Superman. I'm sorry, it's kind of hot.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to be around someone who's just like constantly putting you in potential danger. Like, what if she was in the car?
No, I mean, that's true. I would hope that he would have gotten her out of
Yeah.
the car.
I also don't know his like demeanor. He could be a big asshole. We don't know.
That's so true.
But either way, 3 years later, as he's driving down the road again, there is an issue with Selak's car.
I swear. This is just I don't know if I believe his story now.
So actually, okay, so this actually happened. Well, not this exact thing, but it could have happened to my fiance's truck, which just got out of the shop. He had a malfunctioning fuel pump, which was leaking gas and gasoline all over his vehicle. And so, like, all it would have taken was like one spark to like make that combust, right?
Yeah.
So he had a malfunctioning fuel pump that was leaking gas into like the vents of his car. And so there was a spark when he tried to turn on the air. And so it made fire shoot out of his not air conditioner, but like his air vents, singeing off his eyebrows. But he got out and was fine.
Okay, for like a split second, I thought you were still talking about Andrew.
Oh, no.
And I was like,
sorry, I probably didn't do that correctly.
I don't know. Maybe I just blanked it out. Or
But I was just saying, like, the fuel pump thing, like, that did just happen.
No,
I
I know.
Because my fiance, every night before we record, he goes, okay, what's the story this week? He, like, likes the tea. And so I told him this story. And when I got to this part, he goes, oh, that literally is what I had a fuel pump issue. And that could have happened to me. But obviously, there was no spark on my fiance's car, thank God.
My heart just, like, sank. Because I was like, how come you never told me
you
this?
were like, he lost his eyebrows.
But you didn't even tell me.
He barely has any.
Same.
He's very blonde. So, but yeah, no. So Selak is driving down the road and something sparks maybe when he tries to turn on the air or whatever. And so flames start shooting out of his vents and singe off his eyebrows and parts of his hair.
You know what? If that's the only thing to go.
I get, like, once again, he didn't even have like severe life-changing burns on his face. Everything seems fine for a little while.
Of course it does.
So this was in 1973. This fire shooting out of the air vents thing, right? But don't worry, he got out in the nick of time. He didn't explode with his car. And he lived, he went on, he got married again. And literally for 20 years, over 20 years, everything is fine.
Okay.
But in 1995, he's crossing the street and he is hit point blank by a bus.
A bus?
A bus.
If this is what killed him, I swear to God.
He survives. Not even a broken bone. He gets hit by a bus. Not even a broken bone.
What the what is inside this man?
He's like Wolverine or something. He's got like adamantium.
Really though? Like, what is happening? Because I need it.
I know. I need an injection of whatever he's got working with him. So he gets hit by a bus, survives, no real medical issues. He decides to get a car again. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't be walking. I'm getting hit by a bus.
No.
Even when I don't take the bus is still my enemy.
Yeah, that bus is after him.
So he buys a car.
Where is this man getting all this money from?
Drive. I mean, I don't know how lawsuits work in Croatia, but
well, that's true. Getting hit by a bus.
He should be getting some payouts for some of these.
Getting hit by a bus
falling
specifically.
Falling out of a plane.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You are right. He is making bank.
He should be, at least. Yeah. If this is America, this guy would be flush with cash.
Oh my God. Every once in a while, I'm like, oh, if that bus just like sideswiped me. Like, I don't want to get hit by a bus.
But the mansion helps.
But if I were to, and
you would
survive,
like to survive and also get a mansion. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
So, just a year later, our boy
He's back at it.
Frano, Franco, Frank, whoever you want to call him. He's back driving Miss Daisy. You know what I mean? He's out there on the roads. And he's driving on like kind of a cliffside road, you know, like where to the right is the cliff,
Yes.
to the left is the other lane, and then on that, and then there's like the mountain on that side. So he's on the far side, so he's close to like the guardrail. And as he's coming around a bend, beep beep,
he'll be coming round the corner when he comes.
Beep beep. So he like goes around, and as he's coming around, the car doesn't take the turn as sharp as it needs to, and ends up in his lane, coming head on with him. So he tries to swerve out of the way of it and hits the guardrail. Homeboy, no seatbelt. No seatbelt on.
Were seatbelts around by now?
I think 1996 for sure. I don't know if they were mandated, but either way, he had no seatbelt on. He gets ejected from the vehicle. I don't know.
I'm assuming over the cliff.
And so as he gets ejected, he falls forward and lands on roots of a tree that had grown out the side of the cliff and hugs onto them and lands on them. And as he's hugging onto them, waiting for someone, his car goes flying over the cliff and crashes 350 feet down into the ravine below.
Did someone make a movie about him or like what's going on here?
So obviously this is like crazy town bananas.
Yeah.
Right? Whether like he likes to tell this story, like whatever. So the story is out and about. It's all over the place. But it takes another bizarre turn a few years later in 2003.
Okay.
When he wins the lottery.
Shut your dirty fucking mouth. Who is this guy?
He won the lottery. He won $1.2 million, which in Croatia, apparently, like, you know, it can take you pretty far.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not living in LA or something, you know, where that's like not even a house.
Bruh.
So he ends up like buying a couple cars, a couple houses, like he's living pretty lavish. And then he like feels so guilty about it that a few years later, only 6 years later, he ends up selling the houses, selling the cars, decides to just live like a normal life and gives away most of the money to friends, family, and charity.
So he wasn't a bad guy after all.
No. He was on wife 5 at this point though.
Well, you know what? It's not his fault that he was this bearer of harm to others,
Yeah.
I guess.
The only thing that he like continued to spend money on is he got a hip replacement and he built a shrine to the Mother Mary because he said that that was who was protecting him through all of these life-threatening accidents.
Okay, interesting.
So to quote Selak himself, he said, quote, "Real life is far stranger than any movie."
Yeah, clearly. For you, buddy. Not for most of us.
Yeah.
Not for majority of the people out here.
So, according to Ripley's Believe It or Not, there is definitely some truth in these stories. Some of them can be corroborated by like evidence of bus crashes, plane crashes, whatever. But some of them are a little blurry, like, oh, we're not exactly sure if we can corroborate exactly that he was on that flight or that he was doing this, whatever.
So this could just be him being like, yeah, so
I was at 9/11.
This is what yeah. This is
speaking of a good documentary.
What?
I think it was called She Wasn't There or something. It's about this lady who pretended to be at 9/11. She literally like joined all these support groups and became it's really good. Just look it up. It's a really good documentary. But yeah, so like nobody knew whether or not like how true all this was. He could have been exaggerating. Like some of the bus crashes they did corroborate and like found like, yes, he, you know, here he is. Here's him getting treatment for hypothermia and the broken arm. Here's him doing this, whatever. So like we don't really know. We do know at least some of this was true. We don't know how much was exaggerated. But we also do know that he won the fucking lottery.
Because I am thinking like if he got hit by that bus and like you said, fell out of the plane and everything, like he would have had a lot of money.
Maybe. I don't know how it works in Croatia.
That's true.
This is Croatia. It's a totally different country. We don't know how their legal system works.
That's true.
We are the country of lawsuits. So of course we think that. And like of course that's why that was like my first thought.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's necessarily true for other countries.
Well, you know what? In the long run, he's laughing his fucking way to the bank.
Yeah, so he actually ended up living to the pretty good age of 87. He
Okay.
died on November 30th, 2016 in Croatia. Living a simple life. Like I said, he had given away most of the money that he had won to friends, family, and charities, and he had sold most of his worldly possessions and given that money away to charities and also to the Mother Mary shrine that he had built.
Wow.
in his
Yeah.
because he was so thankful, because once again, like I said, he thought the Mother Mary was who had protected him.
I mean, something was, right?
Yeah. So that is the bizarre and mysterious, potentially true, potentially untrue, we'll never know, story of Frano Selak of Croatia and his multiple brushes with death.
I mean, part of me is like, I don't know, was he just like making some of this shit up to sound really cool? Like,
I mean, even if half of it is true,
no, that's still crazy.
that's still crazy.
Yeah.
Even just surviving one train crash into
Yeah.
a river,
No, that's true.
that's a good story.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you believe him?
You know what? I say why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not have a little hope that you could be simply built different and survive something terrible? Maybe it'll give some people a little hope or a little confidence when they're dealing with a terrible situation.
Next time you say that you're simply built different, I'm going to say, no, you're not.
Not as different as Frano.
Not like our buddy,
our Franny over there.
Franny pants. Wow. That was a wild ride.
Right? Yeah. So thank you for the suggestion to Grace, I believe it was. Yes, Grace. Thank you. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Sorry it took me so long to get to it. I literally look at all these. These are all suggestions from cool kids.
Oh my Lanta.
that they have sent me.
Wowie kawowie.
I know. I'm working through it, guys. I'm working through it.
I like it when a suggestion is just like a nice.
Yeah, they're usually the saddest thing you've
Yeah.
ever heard in your
I
entire
was
life.
gonna say, usually you guys love to suggest just the most tragic,
Saddest thing.
painful, really hard to want to research
Yeah.
topics. But
You ever heard about the master's house? No, what's the master's house? I really want you to cover it. It's about all these 7-year-old boys who were beheaded and then somebody threw their heads in a well and then drank the skull water. And it's like, oh my God. Why would I'm a little, I am interested because I'm a fucked up individual, but God almighty, that sounds like it'll be depressing to tell everybody.
Yeah.
But we will cover your depressing shit.
Yeah.
Don't worry. But I do like when they're fun like this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And now I hope that I
am built different.
am built different.
Simply built different.
And you know what? I think I am.
Yeah. And guess what? Guess what your prize is at the end of it? The fucking lottery.
Please.
We got to start playing scratchers again.
I'm always
I
convinced.
would like to retire.
I think everyone is always convinced that they're going to win the lottery, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of playing. Why would you play the lottery if you didn't think you were going to win?
No, like I don't even play it and I'm still like,
Oh,
like I don't play it and I'm like, that one time I go to play it, I'm going to
you're
win.
going to win. That's so
Yeah.
funny because my family, we were obsessed with like hypothetical, like, ooh, what would you do if you won the lottery? Like when we were growing up. And once again, I grew up in like a very evangelical, like Christian home. So we didn't believe really in gambling or anything like that. So
Yeah.
every once in a while we get like a scratcher from an aunt, like for our birthday.
Mm.
But we used to play that game all the time, like on road trips. All right, everybody, you win X amount of money. And now I love games like that. And people are always like, why are you always asking these questions? And I'm like, well, that's how we passed the time when I was a kid.
You're like, I just want to know.
I just want to know.
What would you do?
My favorite question is, okay, I think we've played this before where it was like, what's the first thing you would do? Like you just won $50 million.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you would do?
We have played this and I can't remember my answer.
I know, that's why it's fun. It always changes.
Damn.
Because it depends kind of what mood you're in. Because my thing is, okay, it depends like where I am when I win it. Because one of the things that I like to do is I like to get a few scratchers or get like whatever and then go sit at a happy hour like alone and scratch them off. So like obviously probably the first thing I would do is be like, round on me, everyone
Yeah.
in here, put it on the credit card. I don't care. That credit card's getting paid off so hard tomorrow. It's going to be crazy. And then I also would probably call my friend who is a CPA and a lawyer and be like, hi, how should I deal with this?
Yeah, that would be my initial.
Like,
thought.
should I do it through an LLC? Should I put it on my own social security? Like that would probably be my first thought.
Yeah, I would probably panic.
Yeah.
But I would be like, what do I do? What do I do with this money right now?
But like once you get that all squared away, like what would be like the first thing you would do?
I think I would probably take a trip.
Same.
I think.
Something all inclusive.
Yeah, that would probably be my very, very first thing I would do.
Yeah.
Because I would want to say I would just buy like a place, like a house or something.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny because last time you said you wouldn't buy a house.
I know.
See what I mean about the mood?
I know.
It really depends on your mood.
Well, today I want a house, Cassidy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Last time I didn't want a house.
Because I said,
now
I
want
would
a
totally
house.
buy a house. I would probably buy 2 houses if I won 50 million.
Yeah. Today I want a house.
Yeah. But if it was like 3 million, I wouldn't buy a house.
See, that's the difference. I think last time when you asked,
I think it was like 7 million.
Yeah, it was like a less
because somebody had just won 7 million,
Yeah.
like that, in one of our stories, probably.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So
Okie dokie.
artichoke.
It sounded like to be. You know the streaming app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was not, but thank you so much. So today I have a disappearance for you. It's probably one that you have definitely heard of, I would assume. But it's very crazy, and I feel like we're gonna have a lot of thoughts about it at the end.
All right.
So we're gonna talk about the disappearance of Granger Taylor.
Okay. Yep.
So my sources were timescolonist.com by Mike Devlin, a Vice article by Tyler Hooper, an episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
I was gonna say that's how I know
Of
about
course,
this.
Yes. They actually did a 2-parter, which they don't usually do.
Not often. Yeah. Sometimes they'll do like a follow-up if something gets solved, but that's usually, yeah.
And then an article on Mysterious Universe, not by Brent Swanser,
Whoa.
by Unknown. So it could be Brent Swanser.
It's just him trying to pretend like more people work there.
He could have just made up a name.
Guys, I don't even know who wrote this. That's so crazy. I don't even know.
That's so weird.
That's so a mysterious universe of
Brent,
us.
we're on to you, buddy.
We're on to you. We should have him on the podcast. Oh my God, you should reach out to him.
Stop.
He's like your number one. Do you see? She's blushing immediately.
I would fangirl
You
so
would.
hard.
That's
I'd
your
be like,
man.
Brent, you have no idea. Nobody else knows who you are, but
I'm your number one fan.
I do.
You're absolutely his number one fan.
I definitely am.
Yeah, without a doubt.
100%. Love you, Brent. Come on the pod. So Granger Taylor was born on October 7th, 1948 in a very small town in British Columbia called Duncan. So this was like a logging and fishing town, and once again, very small. Everybody knows everybody, that kind of a vibe. And Canada, so everyone's probably really nice.
Allegedly.
Well, that's just how Canadians are, no?
I mean,
Eh?
yeah, that's like what they're like known for. Eh?
Right? That's Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When Granger was very, very young, like an infant young, his family was on a trip to their cabin on Horn Lake, and his dad actually drowned on that trip.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. And then 2 years later, when Granger was a toddler, her mom ended up remarrying a man. So he really only grew up thinking like his stepdad was his dad.
Okay.
This is just a little
Sorry,
bit
you
about...
said when she was a toddler,
I did?
and so I was like, wait, I thought this was about a dude.
Sorry, I thought I meant Granger. When Granger was a toddler, so he grew up kind of just being like, my stepdad is my dad.
It's my dad, yeah.
And they had a big combined family because I think with his kids and everyone, there was like 7 children in total.
Got it. Okay.
But Granger was kind of a little more different than his siblings, a little more different than other kids around. His parents noticed that he was very withdrawn. He was a little socially awkward. He was reserved, and he didn't really have that many friends. He would spend most of his time alone, and he would do things like in his room, like take apart his toys and rebuild them into something different.
Well, yeah, that's just fun.
Yeah. If it's like a Lego and it's easy. And as Granger got older, he started developing a passion for mechanics and like building things and cars and machines and all that stuff.
Let's just say he never took the train to Jupiter.
No, he went to college to get more knowledge.
Yeah.
Actually, he didn't go to college. He actually dropped out of school.
He didn't even need to go to college. The knowledge was just there.
The knowledge was in him.
Yeah.
It was inside him. So, like I just said, he literally was so into this, like learning about mechanics and cars and all this stuff. And he was just naturally gifted with it pretty much that he dropped out of school in 8th grade.
Wow.
Yeah. Because he was just that good at what he was doing. He started getting jobs working for his neighbors as like a mechanic's assistant, and people in the neighborhood would basically pay him to fix any sort of machine around their home, their cars. Like anytime something went out, they would be like, gotta get Granger on it.
Gotta call Granger, yeah.
And he's 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Smarty pants.
I know. At the age of 14, he built a single-cylinder automobile, which is actually on display today at Duncan's Discovery Center.
Wow.
Like, it just,
yeah, smart.
Can't even look at an instruction manual to put together anything. Do you remember? I think I was texting you when I recently just bought a cat tree off of Amazon, and I was losing my mind trying to put this thing together for 2 hours.
And everything just kind of screwed together. It's pretty intuitive.
Can't read an instruction manual to save my dang life.
don't read instruction manuals. I just go for
You
the
can
gold.
just do it?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're like freaking Granger here.
Well, I'm not as smart as him.
Well, yeah, you probably can't.
I can't.
Repair
I couldn't like
a
build
car.
build a engine. But like, yeah, if I like buy something that has some, you just gotta like put it together. I can usually figure.
You can
it
just
out.
like look at it and be like, this goes here, this goes here.
I watched you try to put together like a 3-piece car vacuum last time I was here, and you tried to put it on backwards like 4 times.
Yeah, and then I gave up, and it's still sitting in the box on the counter.
Explains the car.
There's still a lot of hair in it. I'll get that done.
We'll get there eventually.
I'll get that done at some point.
Eventually. Do you remember that?
No. Oh, eventually.
He's like a superhero.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
I think it was from the Amanda Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not for Granger, let me tell you. By the time he was 17, he had rebuilt this bulldozer that was sitting around for years because all of the mechanics, all of the people that knew how to do this stuff couldn't figure out how to fix it. So it was literally just sitting there.
Wow.
And then this teenage boy comes along and he's like, I got this. And he fucking repairs it immediately.
That's pretty dang impressive.
And then when he was in his early 20s, he somehow stumbles around this like old abandoned train. And it was abandoned during the Great Depression. And it was sitting in the woods, just rotting away. It was missing parts. It was rusted over. And Granger sees it and he's like, huh, I bet I could figure this out and do something with it. And over like a couple of weeks, he drags all the different parts back to his parents' house and he completely restores this train.
Oh, that's so cool.
In his parents' yard.
Yeah.
And then in 1973, the province of British Columbia bought the steam engine from Granger that he completely restored. And they sent it like on a tour for a train museum.
Dang.
Like, what the fuck? How do people just do things?
I know. It's just so crazy. I wish I was born like smart like that.
Me too. Please.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get hit over the head with something like a sudden savant syndrome.
Yeah. Can I get a refund on my Jupiter tickets or
Please.
what? I don't need to go back a third time. I know you guys want me back there in the camps, the Jupiter camps.
They really want
Jupiter
you.
Camps.
They're like, she's the president.
She's president of Jupiter at this point.
Yeah. As Granger got older, he didn't really get any more like outgoing or anything like that. He was still very awkward. He was very reserved. He was quiet, shy, all the things. But his physical appearance did not quite match his personality, which I think is really funny how everyone says this all the time. Like in every single article you read, people say this. He was 6'3", 240 pounds. He kind of looked like this like burly lumberjack.
Mm-hmm.
And people would call him Gentle Ben because he was just like this big dude, but he was such like a shy, quiet, reserved guy. And I'm like, why do people always talk about the fact that his looks and his personality were different? Because who says that a big burly man can't be shy and reserved? Like, why does a big burly man have to be outgoing?
No, that's like, I mean, that's always how it is. I also feel like people who are bigger a lot of the times are like socialized to be like, I'm the life of the party. I have this crazy personality. And so when they don't, it's like confusing to people. Like my little brother is really, really tall and he's very gentle and very quiet. And it always is very shocking to people. Like when they hear him talk and he's like kind of a low talker and, you know.
I guess I know so many like tall, bigger men that are like that. So maybe I just didn't. I was like, why does everyone think that he should have been like so outgoing and bubbly?
Yeah.
You know. But he was very gentle, very sweet. The area that he lived in, of British Columbia, is supposedly well known for UFO sightings. In 1969, at 5 o'clock in the morning, at the Cowichan District Hospital, which was not that far away from Granger's parents' house where he lived, 4 nurses that are working on the night shift all allegedly saw a flying saucer hovering outside the window of the hospital about 3 stories off the ground.
Okay.
One of the nurses said that she walked over to the window to get a better look, and she saw 2 humanoid figures sitting inside of the cockpit.
Dang, she got quite the look.
Oh, yeah. She said she saw the whole...
This woman's fucking eagle-eyed.
Yeah.
She's right up on it.
She was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And she sees the figures in the cockpit, like trying to figure out whatever they're doing with the handles. And then this flying object begins to fly up a little higher into the sky and then eventually zips out of there super fast. And all 4 of the nurses witness this.
Okay.
The next day, you know, people are in a frenzy because other people in town also saw this object flying around the sky. Elementary school teachers and even a pilot for the Royal Canadian Naval Air Service all came forward about seeing this flying saucer.
Got it. Okay.
So after this event happens in the town, in this small town, this really intrigued Granger.
Well, of course it's going to be the talk of the town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and he's really into mechanics and stuff. So he's like, flying? Like, now his mind is kind of racing. He's like,
bro, if I was an alien, I'd want him too.
abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Granger's like kind of switches his attention from cars and machines and stuff to airplanes.
Okay.
He ends up getting his pilot's license.
Of course he does.
He's very smart.
Why not at this point, Granger?
And then he completely restores a scrapped World War II Kitty Hawk fighter plane,
Jesus Christ.
which he later sold to someone for like $20,000.
That's so cool.
Like
There's literally nothing cooler than like someone who can build shit like that.
Like he's a mechanical genius and he can just do it. He doesn't even have to think. He just does it.
Sorry, I'm looking up a picture of him.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like someone we know.
I was thinking that too, actually, when I saw a
I just
picture
can't
of
put
him.
my finger on it. He's a real cutie patootie.
Yes.
Ooh, love him in this jacket.
Ooh.
Okay, Granger, I see you.
Ooh, that is a nice photo.
That is a very nice photo.
Yeah.
I'm going to recreate that for my bachelorette party.
Please
I'm just
do.
kidding. He looks either like an actor or like someone we know, and I can't put my finger on it.
No, I think he does. I think there's an actor that he looks like, but I don't know who.
Yeah. But yeah, handsome guy, big, tall. He does very lumberjack.
Yeah, kind of lumberjack
Look
vibes
at
a
him.
little
He
bit
loves
with
his
his
dog.
beard.
He's holding his dog.
I know.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to like wrap my head around
Yeah,
it.
no. So by the time he was like in his late 20s, he really wasn't feeling challenged by the things that he had been building and repairing, even though he just repaired a fucking plane and a train and all these things.
Also, the idea of wanting to be challenged.
I
couldn't be me.
could not be me. That's kind of how my brother is. Like my brother likes to be challenged. Like he's like, this is too easy for me.
I guess that's how I feel like when I play video games.
Yeah, I guess.
Or like read a complicated book.
Okay. So there you
Okay,
go.
so maybe I do. I just can't imagine like, but I also like right now I'm working on a project that is very challenging and I have to walk away like every 25 minutes.
Yes, I know.
So I don't pull my hair out. I'm like, oh, okay, well.
Well, he enjoyed
Yeah.
challenging things. So he thinks, has anyone ever like built a UFO before, like a flying saucer? So actually, in the photos that you're looking at,
Mm-hmm.
there's if you see that UFO picture, here, scroll down a little.
Down. This?
that? Yeah.
Oh, he built this?
So he ends up building
This
like,
will be on the Instagram and the YouTube, by the way.
he builds this like giant replica of a flying saucer in his parents' backyard. And he uses 2 satellite dishes, a cast iron wood burning stove, a couch, and a television.
You know what I was actually looking at this? I was thinking this would be such a cool like backyard smoker. Like if you're somebody who
Yeah.
likes to like make barbecue, that's what it looks like
Well,
to me a little
so
bit. Like as a UFO.
So you want to know what he uses this for?
What?
It's kind of like his tree house.
Totally. That's so cool.
So he goes in there and he uses he uses it kind of like his office, or he goes in there to read books.
To be alone, yeah.
Yeah. And he just kind of hangs out in there.
Man, me and this guy I think would have been friends.
I know. And it's really cool looking.
It is really cool looking.
We need less tree houses, more UFOs.
For real.
You know?
Backyard UFOs.
Yeah. And also, like, couldn't tell you how he built that, but it's awesome. Especially out of the things that he built it out of.
Yeah, totally.
So, like I said, Granger, he didn't really have many friends like growing up because he was very reserved, but he did end up forming a connection with two guys. So they became kind of like his close friends, Robert Keller and Bob Nielsen. And these two guys always said that when they hung out with Granger, most of their conversations were about like aliens and extraterrestrials.
So he was into it. It was his new like hyperfixation.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. And his friends were also like super into it as well. So Granger had actually confided in his friends about how he had now been getting contacted by extraterrestrials. So Bob Nielsen later said, he said it happened when he was in bed. He laid there and got mental communications with somebody from another galaxy. He couldn't see them. I said, they can't just be mental, but he said it was like they were just talking to him in his mind. He was asking questions about the means for powering their crafts. The only thing they would tell him was it was magnetic.
Okay. That makes sense.
So a few days after the initial, I guess you can call it encounter or him getting communicated with, Granger told Bob that a disembodied voice had come to him again at night, and this time it invited him to go on a trip through the solar system. Once again, he's claiming he can't see these things. He can just hear them.
Okay.
Which,
how old is he at this point?
32.
Okay. So he's like right in that schizophrenic.
Yes. And that is definitely something that people say about this case.
Yes.
Very often. However, he was never diagnosed with anything.
Okay.
And his parents claimed that
was not the case.
Yeah, like he.
Okay.
If he was, it was undiagnosed.
Okay, got it.
So his friends thought at this point that these were just dreams that Granger was having, but he seemed so excited. And they kind of just thought like, okay, he's, he doesn't have many friends, whatever. And he's really excited about this. So they kind of just went along with it.
Yeah.
And there were drugs involved when they would hang out. Like they would often smoke weed, or his sister said that sometimes he would take acid. So
God forbid.
Yeah. So like maybe, he was on a little, they were like, he's just hearing things when he's like,
he's a little high.
Yeah, he's high, whatever.
Yeah.
So they just didn't want to harsh his mellow. They're like, yeah, dude, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
You're getting contacted.
Woo.
But he kept telling his friends that he wouldn't know more about when and where he was supposed to be going on this trip through the solar system until the end of the month. And still his friends were kind of like, yeah, dude, like humoring him, going along with it instead of being like, you're not going anywhere. Like, are you okay? They were just like, yeah, okay. Which to me, I don't know. I feel like if there was, and I don't know, but I feel like if there was like a mental health situation, like wouldn't his friends like maybe be aware?
Have you ever met a group of male friends?
No, you're right. They're so not aware.
They don't talk to each other about anything.
You're right.
You would literally be like, I ended my marriage of 15 years, and they'd be like, damn, man, that sucks. So you're like, you gonna hit off the green, or
yeah,
what are you gonna do here?
Literally, get me another beer.
Yeah.
So they even ended up having like a night out on the town, and this was basically Granger's going away party. Like that's how they were framing it.
I mean, here's the thing: if like I had a friend who was going through something like this, and they were really smart, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to convince them that they were wrong, I would just be like, hey man, like just let me be there.
Yeah, let me come with you.
Or I don't even need to go on the trip with you. Just like let me be there when you go. So that way people don't think you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like let me be your witness because I believe you. You know what I mean? And then that way if they did end up in a situation that was harmful to them, you could help. And then if a UFO did show up, you got to see the UFO.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, win-win.
Real
right?
win-win scenario here.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's the end of the month.
Okay.
It's November 29th. This was when Granger kind of said, at the end of the month, that's when I'll figure out
I'm outie.
when I'm going
Yeah.
up there. So it's November 29th, 1980. And his parents wake up to a note that Granger had left on their door. And it reads, "Dear Mother and Father, I have gone away to walk aboard an alien spaceship. As reoccurring dreams assured a 42-month interstellar voyage to explore the vast universe, then return. I am leaving behind all of my possessions to you, as I no longer will require the use of any of them. Please use the instructions in my will as a guide to help. Love, Granger."
Okay. How many months?
He was going to go on a 42-month trip around the solar system.
Okay, this is like
How many years?
3.5 years.
3.5 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yes, 2.5 years or 3.5 years.
3.5 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe you.
Yes.
Somewhere around there. So obviously the parents see this letter and freak out because that is kind of alarming, I would say. And as you probably could guess, the initial thought behind this letter was that it was a suicide note.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But then after the parents did look at his will, because that's obviously what he said in the letter, like, I've instructed you some stuff in my will.
Mm-hmm.
They saw that he had actually altered some of the words in the will. So the word funeral was completely erased and the word death was replaced by the word departure.
Like, just in case I don't come back, it's not that I'm dead.
Yeah,
it's
he's
that-
trying to convince people, like, I am going on this trip. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I'm really doing.
Okay.
So much so that he literally had to go and change his will.
Got it. Okay.
So an investigation soon took place by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Granger had also taken his truck with him when he left the house that night. So people were on the hunt not only for Granger, but for his truck as well.
So he drove somewhere.
He drove somewhere, yeah. And, you know, a lot of people, they're concerned that maybe he had an undiagnosed illness that they weren't aware of. And especially after his friends came out and started telling his family about him hearing voices at night and communicating with something that he couldn't see. That was definitely, the schizophrenic thing was definitely
not a good look.
on the radar for people. So during the investigation, it was discovered that the night he had posted the note on his parents' door, he had actually gone out to the local diner that he was a regular at. Everyone knew him. And he was seen by many people eating alone. He ate a full meal. He paid his bill, got back in his truck, and left.
Okay.
And that was the very last time Granger Taylor was ever seen.
Okay. I realized who he looks like.
Who?
He kind of looks like David Harbour and when Chris Pratt was fat.
Oh my gosh, he does. Yeah.
Like,
he's like adorable.
no, he's so cute.
Yeah.
I miss chubby Chris Pratt. I thought that was like his peak attractiveness.
I agree.
He looks now very freaky.
Yeah, I agree.
He looks AI generated now.
He does.
Derogatory.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Granger
But yeah,
was
right?
so
Like-
cute. Oh my God, he was so cute.
Right? Like he's giving like David Harbour
Yeah.
kind of vibes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like young David Harbour.
No, I see
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
All right, so the case ends up going cold because, like, they search for him for months, literally don't find a single trace of him. They don't find his truck, nothing. And this is actually really sad. I mean, the whole thing is really sad, but his parents, they left their back door unlocked for the whole 42 months.
Just in case he came back.
Yeah, just hoping that he was going to walk through those doors.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, according to his letter, he was only going to be gone for 42 months and then he
Yeah.
was going to be back. But of course, he never came home. 6 years later, after Granger disappeared, forest workers stumble upon a blast site not too far from the Taylor family home.
How many years later? 6?
6.
So this is 72 months. Sorry, just so we're getting
okay,
the
72 months. Yeah. So it's longer than
This
his
is
allotted time.
30 months past when he should have been
Right,
back.
right.
Okay. I can do math when I have a calculator.
I was going to say with the calculator. So in this blast site, they found a wrecked truck.
Interesting.
And it's not far from the home.
okay.
And it's in a place where people, like workers, work.
Yeah.
So the police were able to confirm from like the registration that this was Granger's truck.
Wow. Okay.
They also, now this I only saw, I think this is alleged, I'm not totally sure. They said that they found fragments of a body part in the area as well, but it couldn't be confirmed to be Granger's or not. But they did find like some remains of clothing pieces that his mother was able to identify as his clothes.
Well, that's interesting that they could find that, but they couldn't confirm that, but they could find the registration of the truck.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if the body part thing was real or not. Some other sources said that they didn't find any body parts.
Was that in the episode of Unsolved Mysteries?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Because I think in the Unsolved Mysteries, I feel like it was very like, and he was never found. His body was never found. But his mother, so the clothes that they found, like the little remnants of clothes, his mother actually had made him those clothes. So she was like, I would recognize those anywhere. So with this, the police ended up closing the missing persons case.
That's what it makes me think of. Like, oh, it's too badly damaged for us to identify the remains, but we got the registration, so we know it's his car and there are remains. So okay, case closed.
That exactly.
Like it feels very much just like,
I mean, small town.
We wanted to. It just feels very much like we wanted to close a case.
Yeah,
and this is giving us the opportunity to.
Yeah, and also, who knows? What if they lied about finding body parts?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, what do we know about police?
Right.
They like to close cases.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really care about accurately closing cases. They like to close cases.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it would not surprise me if they're like, okay, this is like our small town. This is our one open case that everyone's speculating about. If we could just close it.
And people can't stop talking about it.
Yeah. Now we can just close it. We can look like heroes. We figured it out. Go us. That is something that 100% a police, I in my opinion,
yes,
a police group would do.
Especially, I feel like in a small town.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they closed the case. They declared him dead, even though his like actual body was never found.
And they couldn't even confirm that the remains that they did find were his.
Right. If that was even true.
And I get it. And even the clothing thing, like, I don't know, just it seems a little convenient.
No, it does.
That you can't there's clothing.
But also, how do we not know that, like, I have clothes in my car?
I guess this is like yeah, that's very true.
You know?
Oh, absolutely.
So they could have just been sitting in the back of his,
like a shirt or an extra pair of work boots or something.
And when the car was obviously exploded or whatever, whatever clothes were in the car also blew up.
I would just need proof that there were actual physical remains in that car. Like I would need proof of that. Right.
And we don't have
and
that.
I understand this is pre-DNA, so obviously you can't like just DNA check it or, you know, be like, hey, we found remains, we're going to DNA cross it with the parents or whatever. I get that.
And
but yeah.
If the remain thing is true, the only thing that it even said was found was like one tiny thing. Like it wasn't multiple.
That might have been human remains. Okay.
Like it wasn't multiple. It wasn't like multiple body parts. It doesn't quite add up.
Which
understand. Is why, let me tell you right now, his family was pissed that the case was closed like that, because they were like, this doesn't seem right. Something seems off.
I would be too.
You know?
Once again, it just seems like a rush to close a case that they're like going to be like, this is a win for us, boys.
Yeah.
I think that's what it feels like.
Yeah. I got to talk about this because this, to me, is very crazy. The night that Granger had gone missing, there was this like crazy, insane thunderstorm that ripped through Duncan.
Okay.
And it was like not, they would get thunderstorms and stuff, but this one in particular was like high gusts of winds blowing down power lines. Thunder was booming. Lightning was striking. Everyone was losing power. Like it was like a gnarly one.
Yeah.
And Granger had always told his friends that the aliens would most likely arrive when the weather was bad so they could travel undercover.
Sorry, how many stories about alien situations like that have we heard where that's the case?
Yeah. And only days before he disappeared and before this storm happened, he had told his friends that they would be coming any day now. And then the storm happens and Granger and his truck are nowhere to be found. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, the coincidences are piling up.
Then, allegedly, the residents in the area where the blast site was found 6 years later claimed that there had been another really bad storm just a few nights before his truck was found.
Okay.
And like I said, these big storms, like, they're notable for how bad they are.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying another big storm happens and then all of a sudden they find his
This
truck
shows up.
and they find this blast
Yeah.
site. That's a little crazy.
No, that is a little crazy.
So I'm like, is it possible that Granger was right about this bad weather, you know, being when the aliens come to Earth and they picked him up during a storm and then they booped his car back down during a storm? I don't know.
Yeah.
It just is a little suspicious.
It is very suspicious.
Because in my opinion, which a lot of people obviously think that he just killed himself or he, you know, exploded his car because he's really, really good at figuring that kind of stuff out. And apparently there was something about his family owned a lot of dynamite because they would like blast like tree trunks or something around the house. And, and there was dynamite missing. But once again, these are just things that people say. So I don't know.
Yeah, these are just, okay.
You know, people are like, oh, well, there was dynamite missing in their house. So he probably just took the dynamite and then blew himself up in his car.
Okay, what's the corroborating thing that says there was actually dynamite missing?
But also, even if that is true, 6 years later, where was he for 6 years?
Yeah.
Why did they just find his car 6 years later?
Yeah. And
like that doesn't make sense.
So it wasn't in like a remote part of the woods. It was in like an area where somebody would have stumbled upon it.
It was in an area where like forest workers would probably regularly be around. So for 6 whole years, you're telling me no one walked through there?
Yeah.
You know? It just doesn't seem right.
And an explosion?
And an yeah. Like literally, people are like, well, no, he just took his car to the woods and blew up the car and himself with the dynamite. But then why was that never found 6 years later? I'm sorry, they searched the area, they looked for him.
Yeah, they were looking for him. Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
And you said it wasn't far, right?
No, it was very close to where his parents lived. Like it just doesn't add up to me.
Yeah, no, it's very strange.
So I'm like, did he go did he disappear himself for 6 years, come back and then do that? I don't know, but something just seems off.
Yeah.
And also another thing that people talk about a lot, like we already talked about. They talk about mental health issues, schizophrenia. But once again, none of this was ever confirmed that he had any sort of mental health issues.
Yeah.
If it was, like I said, it was undiagnosed, so we didn't know. Some people think he was on an acid trip and disappeared, but like, where did he go? There's just so many unanswered questions. It's so confusing.
It is very confusing. Sorry, I'm looking at his note right now.
And to me, like, the idea of him just being this super fucking smart genius, the aliens were like,
I'd want him.
Yeah, they took notice of him and they were like, oh my God, he could help us, like help fix our UFOs. He could be like our mechanic up here. He could help build us things that no one else can. Like, I'm sorry.
And he didn't really fit in on Earth.
No.
So, yeah.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? Here's the thing. Outcome, whatever the outcome is, it already happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's gone.
Yes.
So whether he completed suicide, tragically, or something fantastical happened and he is now fucking zooming around the stars, either way, his family will never know what happened to him.
I know.
Like,
it's
that's
so
like
sad.
the hardest part.
Yeah.
And like so sad. But like, if I was the family and I didn't believe in any of the alien stuff, I would be looking at the police like, what do you mean he was a couple miles from our house?
Yeah.
And you didn't fucking find that. Like, what kind of shitty operation are you running here that you didn't find that? And I understand like woods can be thick and whatever, but these are people who are local to the area. How it can't be so thick he couldn't get his truck there.
Yeah.
It needs to be navigable for a truck. So even if you firmly believe that he blew himself up that night,
and people would
why the hell did they not find that? And then they're saying, oh, well, these are his clothes 6 years later after an explosion and being in the woods for 6 years. You think that there is enough clothing to identify, but not enough human remains to identify, not any identifying features, nothing, not even a bone, nothing, no teeth, no dental records. Like dental records are usually what they use.
Yeah.
Like,
the only thing.
Something is fishy. Something is fishy. I don't know what it is, but something smells bad in the state of Denmark. You know what I mean?
The only thing that, like when they were talking about human remains, it was like maybe an arm bone, I think was what was said.
Yeah.
But no teeth, like you said.
No identifying features, nothing. Like, and we know how the
fingertips.
So like, to me, I'm like, yeah, why would they not just be like, oh, we found this blast site. Definitely isn't this his clothes? Totally. It's totally his clothes.
Yeah.
Right. And like I don't know.
It just, I don't know. It's just so confusing. Like, I don't see how he could have taken his truck into those woods, completed suicide, and nothing was found for 6 years. I don't know.
Well, once again, to me, I'm like, that means it is a part of the woods that is not so thick it is unnavigable by a truck.
Right.
You are the police.
And like I said, workers are
you are locals.
There.
Why would that should have been found?
Yeah.
And so it's like, no matter what it is, it's
yeah, so really sad he never obviously returned home. His parents died with no answers really to what happened to them. They were very upset with kind of how that whole thing
went down.
Yeah, that whole thing ended. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like my mind really is wide open with this one because I think the aliens would want him, and I really hope that that's what was happening.
I hope that's what happened because I hope, I don't know. I hope that that's what happened because that would be the best outcome. And then his note that he gave to his parents would have just been true.
Yeah.
I actually just was watching a video of a woman who she was on vacation. When she was on vacation, her husband stopped replying to her texts, and then he went missing, and then they found out he was dead like a week and a half later. And she was literally like, everyone says it's worse when they're missing than when you find out they're dead. And she was like, I never believed that.
Yeah.
I always thought, no, why missing? There's hope. And she was like, and then my fiance went missing. And those 6 days were so much worse than the day I found out he was dead.
Yeah.
So that's what it just makes me so sad for the parents because I'm like, God, just to live the rest of your life, like, question mark? Because obviously, like you said, they didn't believe what the police were saying either.
No, they didn't. They thought that there was something off.
Yeah.
They were like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. But, well, Granger, I hope you're up there fucking star surfing, dude.
Me too.
And if you aren't in this world anymore, or in this universe anymore, I hope you're also still star surfing wherever you're at.
It's just so, I don't know.
Seemed like a smart, cool dude.
It's just so crazy to not find any of his actual remains. So yeah, that is the disappearance of Granger Taylor. Let me know what you guys think.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your opinions.
Yeah.
Drop it in the comments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
I know, crazy one.
Very crazy one. Yeah. And it's one of those ones where I'm just like, dude, I want you to be up there. I want you to be up there fixing spacecrafts.
Yes, me too.
Scooting around the universe. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, well, how about we finish this up with a listener story?
Let's do it.
So this is from Amy Rottenclair.
Amy Rottenclair?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that.
That's what they said. Hello. Being an avid listener, I've always wanted an opportunity to write in, and I finally have one.
Yay.
It's very short and sweet. I work in a nursing facility in northern Kentucky, just outside of Cincinnati. And just to give a little more backstory, the original structure was built in 1907 and was originally an infirmary, then an orphanage, and now it is a nursing home.
Okay.
In fact, we recently had a resident who was an orphan here as a young girl.
Whoa.
Imagine, that's like a full circle moment.
Yeah,
dude.
that's crazy.
We have had some paranormal activity over the years, but my personal experiences have only centered around the deceased staff.
Ooh.
Every day, we have a morning stand-up meeting where leadership gathers to discuss updates on resident care. Typically, it's nothing to write home about, but this morning they briefly mentioned a, quote, demonic situation
What?
that occurred last night. When I looked into it a little further, the staff had documented that the STNA requested, I'm guessing that's like some sort of like board or whatever, requested that the nurse check in on this resident because she was non-compliant with care. I don't know what STNA is. I'm not going to lie to you. When the nurse entered the room, the resident had a, quote, unnatural persona, and her voice sounded demonically possessed. Demonically possessed. She identified herself as Jezebel and began talking about Satan giving evil looks and then speaking in tongues.
Oh, no.
The nurse attempted to administer Ativan, which would knock the average person out, but the resident spit it across the room. After that, she started reciting the Lord's Prayer over and over again.
Oh, my gosh.
When I looked into Jezebel, all I could find was information on Jezebel and Egzabeth. The resident in question is seriously the sweetest, and I can't imagine her acting like this all on her own.
Oh, no.
That's all.
Ah.
I need an update on what happened here, by the way.
Yes, me too.
That is so crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Demonic possession. We actually just recorded with a podcast called Believing the Bizarre.
Yes.
Which was super fun, and we'll let you guys know when that's going to be coming out.
We had so much fun with Tyler and Charlie.
But they were talking about like the things that specifically scare them. And was it Tyler?
It was Tyler, yeah.
Yeah, Tyler was like, oh, I'm like pretty chill. I don't really believe in a lot of stuff. But whenever it's like demons or aliens, like intelligent stuff, like that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And like same, like demon stuff, especially like demons with old people. I don't know. Demons with old people or kids, like, because you guys know children scare me. So like add a demon to the mix, I'm outie.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I got to get the fuck out of there.
Demons? Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't be scared of a demon?
Absolutely.
Demons are terrifying.
And then you add a child to the mix?
Horrifying.
Horrifying. Just kidding. I love you, children and old people, but the appropriate amount.
But as long as you are not demonically possessed.
Demonic possession. Sorry, I'm in my John Ralphio mode.
No,
right
I like
it. Thank you so much for sharing that, Claire. And if you guys want to share a story with us, please do.
Please.
We're probably going to have a listener episode coming up soon. So make sure you do that at dtkpod.com/contact. You can also share your stories on Patreon directly to us, and we will give you a little boost up the line. And if you have requests for stories like how I did a listener request today, make sure you send those on Patreon as well. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we totally dig you.
We totally do.
But most importantly, make sure you keep that front door locked.
Make sure you keep your mind open
And keep drinking the Kool-Aid.